50% tariffs. Yes, ye heard that right. Half the value o' Indian exports be taxed at the US border. So the big question be this. In this trade war between India and America, who actually loses more? Let's break it down, me hearties. Not too long ago, things looked so different. Remember June 2023? Prime Minister Modi's state visit to Washington had all the pomp, all the pageantry. President Joe Biden even said the India-US relationship would define the 21st century. Fast forward a year, Modi meets the newly elected Donald Trump at the White House. Less fanfare, sure, but still warm smiles and plenty of talk about deals. And now, that warmth has turned into one of the coldest trade disputes we've seen in decades. As of August 27, most Indian goods entering the US are slapped with a 50% tariff, one of the highest anywhere in the world. So what went wrong? It started with Trump's sweeping tariffs back in April, aimed at multiple trading partners. Negotiations with India collapsed soon after. Then came the breaking point, an additional 25% tariff announced on India because of its continued purchases of Russian oil. But here's where it gets messy. Analysts say it's not just about oil. Some point to the India-Pakistan conflict earlier this year. Trump publicly claimed credit for brokering a ceasefire. But Modi? At home, he wanted to show that India forced Pakistan to its knees. Two leaders, one ceasefire, and both wanted the credit. That clash of narratives may have quietly poisoned trade talks. So how is India feeling the pain? Well, the US is India's biggest trade partner. In 2024, India exported about $87 billion worth of goods to America. But experts predict that by 2026, that number could plunge to just $50 billion. That's a 40% collapse. Think textiles, jewelry, gemstones. Entire industries could see exports cut in half. And with them, hundreds of thousands of jobs at risk. And here's the twist. Manufacturing is only about 14% of India's economy. So yes, the direct blow to GDP might be smaller, but politically, it stings. Modi has been pushing his Make in India vision. Losing access to the world's largest export market at such a critical moment could suffocate that dream. Now you might be thinking, if India's exports drop, doesn't America lose too? Here's the math. The US exported about $42 billion worth of goods to India in 2024, less than half of what it imports. So purely on the balance sheet, India bleeds more. But America's not immune. Fewer Indian students at US universities. Less cooperation on moving manufacturing away from China. And let's not forget, this fight risks pushing India closer to, guess who? China. That's not just economics. That's geopolitics. And for Washington, it could be the real nightmare scenario. So here's the irony. The US wants India as a strong Indo-Pacific partner to counter China's rise. But the harsher the tariffs, the more likely India is to hedge its bets. And at home, Modi faces his own balancing act. Back down to Trump, and he risks looking weak. Stand firm, and his own economy takes the hit. It's a classic lose-lose. Or maybe a waiting game, because both sides know they can't afford to stay enemies for long. experts say yes, a deal could still happen. India wants one badly. And Trump? He loves a win. The question be timing. Any week, any month, maybe even before the next election cycle heats up. Both countries need each other. India be on the verge of becoming the world's third largest economy. America needs allies against China, which means, despite all the harsh words and sky-high tariffs, there's still space to shake hands across the table. So who stands to lose the most in this trade dispute? On paper, it's India. Billions in exports, thousands of jobs, industries on the line. But strategically, the US risks far more, alienating its most important Asian partner, just as China grows stronger. So maybe the better question isn't who loses more, but whether either side can afford to lose at all. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and share it with someone who follows global politics. And let me know in the comments. Do you think Trump and Modi will strike a deal? Or are we headed for a long, costly trade war? Because in a fight this big, the world's not just watching, it's waiting for the fallout.